先の音は耐えて久しくなりぬれどなこそ流れてなお聞こえけれ。
Have you ever been watching a movie and think to yourself, I know that voice actor?
Huh. Nice.
Like maybe Kenjiro Suda, who has played so many roles, like Kento Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen, Kishibe from Chainsaw Man, Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh!, and my uncle Ryuga from Beyblade Metal Fusion. And maybe you're someone who works on video projects that requires you to do research on voice actors, and you come across Naomi Kusumi, who has done voices like Futoshi Shimano from the Yakuza series, Roadhog from Overwatch, MacVice from One Piece, Yowamushi Klooper from... And... Wait, what the fuck is Yowamushi Klooper? Hang on. Scooby-Doo no Zombie-Doo. Okay, so Yowamushi Klooper is the localized name of Scooby-Doo in Japan because they don't think Japanese kids would be able to say Scooby-Doo easily. So his name is Krupa. Anyway, Naomi Kusumi is also the voice of Richard Nixon in Call of Duty Black Ops. And when I found out that there was a Japanese dub of Call of Duty Black Ops 1, I just knew I had to find video footage of this game. Because I think we all remember that one cutscene. You know the one I'm talking about, the Richard Nixon cutscene.
I said, are certain to miss the future.
Oh no, I missed that. And why is he here? He lost.
As I always say, forgive your enemies, but remember their names. Now, gentlemen, as I like to think, in the long history of the world, that there are only a few generations.
Sounds like someone breaking in.
It's just a storm, Dick. Sit down.
And personally, I just had to find Japanese John F. Kennedy, Fidel Castro, and Richard Nixon talking to each other. So I started looking and searching for video footage of the game, Googling around, and it just didn't exist anywhere. At least through English search terms, I wasn't able to find anything of use whatsoever. Nothing even close to what I was looking for. I did find one video of this guy teaching you how to mod in Japanese subtitles to the Steam version of Black Ops. And when I went to do that, I noticed that Japanese isn't even a supported language type in the Steam release of the game. So that made me think, is there a Japanese dub of this game? And why is there so many accreditations online for it? And why can't I find any footage of any of it? Why is it so hard to find? So, I can tell you that Japanese Black Ops does exist because I have it. And I played it. Where's Reznov? Okay. I got questions to answer. Oh, your name is Alex Mason, born in Fairbanks, Alaska, 1961. You were assigned to a CIA assassination team, Operation 40. Do you remember?
送信施設はどこだ？
何の話をしてる？
数字のことだ、メイソン。あれには何の意味がある？
What do the numbers mean? The Suji.
ドラゴビッチはどうだ？覚えているか？正直に話せば安全は保証する。
Who is that? Is that Reznov?
最初から始めよう。1961年キューバのピッグズ湾。お前はそこにいた。
In Call of Duty Black Ops, you play as Alex Mason, a CIA operative during the Cold War and Vietnam War, tasked to stop any Soviet threats. In the beginning of the game, Mason. That's you. Alex Mason was born in Fairbanks, Alaska, where he grew up hunting elk and bear with his dad until the Cold War motivated him to join the Marines. It was during the Korean War where Alex Mason made his name and was recruited to be a CIA operative. Originally voiced by Sam Worthington, aka Jake Sully from the Avatar series, Alex Mason is now voiced by Kenyu Hariuchi, aka Pain from Naruto,
痛みを受け取れ。痛みを知れ。
or Raiden from the Metal Gear series.
ドクトル、俺の通覚抑制を外せ。
Woods. That's this guy. Sergeant Frank Woods was born in Philadelphia, where he was a rebellious teenager and ran away from home, where he decided to join the Marines. Frank Woods is voiced by none other than Rikiya Koyama, who is famous for doing voices like Yamato from Naruto
残ってる。木炭、連中化の術。
and Taiga Seijima from the Yakuza series.
ああ、もうええ。切るで。
But he's also known for being the go-to dub voice actor for people like Keanu Reeves in the Matrix movies
カンフーを覚えた。
and Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the Fast and Furious movies.
パパの兄弟なの？
そう、パパの兄弟だ。ああ、ミニサイズチ。どうもありがとう。
In Bowman, and that's this guy over here. There is not much known about Navy UDT Chief Joseph Bowman's backstory in canon of Black Ops, but it is known that he is originally voiced by Ice Cube.
Google.
In this version, he's voiced by Daisuke Namikawa, who's probably best known for doing Oikawa from Haikyuu.
やっほー、トビオちゃん、チビちゃん、元気に変人コンビやってる？痛いよ、岩ちゃん。
Which I think is just great. Mason, Woods, and Bowman are in Cuba attempting to assassinate Fidel Castro during the Bay of Pigs invasion. Mason and team are successful in their mission, but Mason is caught during their escape plan, where it is revealed that Mason didn't actually eliminate Castro, and it is Castro who turns Mason over to one Soviet general, Nikita Dragovich. Dragovich imprisons Mason in a prison known as Vorkuta. I learned that Vorkuta means bear corner, or effectively here be bears in Nenets, which is a northern Russian dialect of sorts. It is at Vorkuta where Mason meets the greatest character in Call of Duty history. Originally voiced by Gary Oldman, Viktor Reznov was imprisoned in Vorkuta after defecting against the Soviet government. You see, Reznov used to work for Dragovich until Reznov was tricked into recovering a secret weapon developed by Nazi scientists.
同胞たちにとっては希望、ドイツにとっては抵抗の象徴だった。今でも私の耳にはあの音色が残っている。眠っている間に父はナチスに喉を切り裂かれた。ナチスと手を組むのは裏切りだ。母なるロシアに対する裏切りなのだ。だがドラゴビッチやクラフチェンコはそんなことを気にかけもしなかった。奴らの頭にあるのは己の利益と野望だけだ。
Over 2 years in Vorkuta, Mason and Reznov team up to lead a prisoner rebellion leading to their escape from Vorkuta. But not before being separated in their escape, where Reznov promises to find Mason on the other side. Mason, following his escape, returns to the US and within 1 month is returned to active CIA service under the supervision of one Jason Hudson.
ナルト、 お前は確かに強くなった。俺と肩を並べるか、それ以上だ。
Anyway, Mason is going to the Pentagon to meet President John F. Kennedy. Uh-oh, Mason starts having visions of victory royaling the president. Good thing he decides to do that later.
君は最高の人材だと聞いている。どこに行ってもな。君を求めていた。ミスター・メイソン。任せたぞ。
Instead, Mason is assigned to Operation Flashpoint. The mission is to eliminate a project called Ascension, which is being used to house Nazis, destroy the Soyuz spacecraft, rescue CIA operative Grigory Weaver, and take down Dragovich.
その時ドラゴビッチの車を見つけた。逃がすもの。満足かメイソン。やめろ。まだだ。死体を確認してない。
お前はドラゴビッチの死を確かめたのか。
大丈夫。あのクソったりは消し済みになっているさ。
5 years following Operation Flashpoint, Mason is going to Vietnam. Yeah, I just got off the phone with him. It sounds like we're not going to be able to put Fortunate Son in the video. No, here, look. I can put exactly how much I think we can put it. Continuing to track Soviet activity, the goal is to recover a dossier on Dragovich from a Russian defector being held in the North Vietnamese army. Turns out, that defector is none other than Viktor Reznov. Reznov reveals that Dragovich is indeed still alive and planning an attack on the West. He plans on using a biochemical weapon called Nova 6. The weapon created by Nazi scientists, destroyed by Reznov during the mission where he defected against Dragovich.
それで全てが終わるはずもなかった。捕らえられ、ボルクタ送りになってすぐ、私はドラゴビッチの真の目的を知った。奴は死んでもノバ6を諦めるつもりはなかったのだ。
And now, Nova 6 is being recreated by a British scientist named Daniel Clark.
どんな化合物なんだ。
Nova 6.
Mason and friends are overrun by Viet Cong soldiers and captured during their attempted escape. At the same time, Hudson and Weaver are in Kowloon City hunting down Dr. Clark. Clark reveals the location of one of Dragovich's bases located in Russia on Mount Yamantau. Before being killed by Dragovich's men. Hudson and Weaver infiltrate the facility. It looks like Dragovich plans to use Soviet number stations in order to activate sleeper cell agents in the US that would carry out the setting up of Nova 6 bombings across the country? Number stations are a phenomenon that can occur while tuning a shortwave radio in different parts of the world. Unclaimed broadcasts across the globe are transmitting cryptic messages. These broadcasts are typically at regular intervals and have easily recognizable segments. We are currently listening to the Lincolnshire Poacher. This station regularly played the English folk song of the same name, followed by a number sequence. It was believed to be a British-controlled broadcast originating from a military base in Cyprus. The suspected use of number stations like this is for discreet communication with secret intelligence operatives around the globe. If you'd like to learn more about number stations and their history, I highly suggest you check out the ConApp project, which has extensive documentation of several number stations. Oh, and also, Frederick Steiner is the scientist that originally created Nova 6. He tipped off Dragovich on where to find the remnants of the project, and was also used during the brainwashing of Alex Mason during their time in the prison camp Vorkuta. When activated, it would cause such a mass hysteria within the country that Dragovich would use to carry out a landing invasion of the US. Hudson and Weaver find a recording from Steiner to meet up at Rebirth Island in the Aral Sea. because he suspects that Dragovich will kill him to cover up Nova 6. Imprisoned in Vietnam, Mason, Woods, and Bowman are invited to play a traditional Soviet board game called Roulette. Unfortunately, Bowman doesn't know the rules and gets ejected on a technicality. But Woods and Mason are able to beat their captors at their own game and confront Kravchenko during their escape. During the struggle, Kravchenko primes a grenade vest and Woods sacrifices himself by tackling Kravchenko out a window. Luckily, Reznov is still there to save Mason, and they find the location of Steiner's base on Rebirth Island. Now going rogue and seeking revenge, Mason and Reznov head to Rebirth Island. Mason and Reznov infiltrate Steiner's base and confront him.
ドラゴビッチの部下どもが島中の人間を集めている。奴の計画に必要のなくなった連中を処刑するつもりだ。急いでくれ。私も殺されてしまう。
フリードリヒ・シュタイナー。
お前は。お前はオルクタン。知らんだろうな。お前に何をしたのか。
メイドン、答えてくれ。
貴様の邪悪さのせいで多くの人間が死んだ。それで終わりだ。
私が死んでもノバは止まらん。
何？ノバなどしたことか。私はビクトル・レズノフ。
やめろ。
そしてこれが私の不朽だ。
However, Hudson knows what actually happened.
早くあいつを止めないと。
そう砲弾だ。メイソン、そいつを殺したら意味がない。何をやってる。攻撃するな。やめろ。
私はビクトル・レズノフ。そしてこれが私の復讐だ。俺は大丈夫だ。シュタイナーを調べろ。
死んでいます。
This leads us to the iconic scene of Mason being tied up next to all those monitors. Without Dr. Clark, Kravchenko, Steiner, or Reznov, Mason is now the only person left who was at Vorkuta and heard the transmissions. Mason was brainwashed. Theoretically, he should know what the number station transmission is communicating to the sleeper cells.
無理だ。時間がない。諦めるな。彼はボルクタで数列の解読方法を刷り込まれた。送信された数字には送信施設の座標も含まれていたんだ。必要な情報は全て彼の中にあるんだぞ。バンカーに移動するぞ。現在デフコン2だ。もう全力が尽くした。いや、まだだ。まだ切っていないカードがある。
お前は行け、ウィーバー。失敗だと報告しろ。
奴と戦場する気か。勝手にしろ。
畜生！どうして思い出せないんだ。レズノフは死んだ。メイソン、わかるか。奴は死んだ。ウィーバーの言う通りだ。もう時間がない。ロシア人に利用されたんだ。そうだと思う。お前は裏切ってない。
Mason was brainwashed, but he also showed unusual signs of resilience to carrying out orders. He can be programmed, but it's uncertain if he will carry out the orders when they are called upon. Reznov was able to exploit this weakness in Mason's programming and implant his own drive for revenge against Dragovich upon Mason. Mason and Reznov are the same person. They have been since Vorkuta. Reznov died during his escape attempt from the prison. The real defector they met in Vietnam was killed during the attack before Mason found Reznov. The original plan was to use Mason as an assassin against President John F. Kennedy, but thanks to Reznov's intervention, combined with Mason's resistance to brainwashing, they were able to prevent Dragovich's plan.
痛みとはよしにくいものだ。私たちは兄弟だ、メイソン。同じなのだ。ドラゴビッチ、クラフチェンコ、シュタイナー、奴らにしよう。
洗脳したのはドラゴビッチだが、レズノフは独自の思惑があった。
メイソン、
あの男はベトナムになど行っていない。ノバシクスの書類を持ってきた亡命者はマクビ襲撃時に死亡している。ベトナムに彼はいなかった。
そうならクラフチェンコはここにいる。
リバース島にも彼はいなかった。メイソン、私は私の復讐だ。メイソン、よせ。ビクトル・レズノフはもう5年前に死んでいる。ボルクタからお前と脱走し死んだ。何年も一緒にいた気がするのは全て想像の産物だ。信じてたんだ。だからこそ成功した。東側の MK ウルトラ計画だ。お前はケネディを殺すように仕組まれたらレズノフが横槍を入れた。奴はドラゴビッチへの復讐に燃えていた。ドラゴビッチ、クラフチェンコ、シュタイナー、新たな標的だ。記憶に空白があるな。こっちでもお前の消息を把握できていなかった時期だ。だが洗脳が解けてしまえば失われた時間も戻るだろう。退避するぞ。ノバシクスの攻撃が近い。国中に潜伏中の何百人もの工作員があの毒ガスをぶちまけようとしているんだ。シュタイナーが死に数列の送信に関する手がかりは断たれてしまった。お前は暗号を解読するようプログラムされた。数列の意味はお前にしか分からない。ノバシクスは奴らの計画の一つにする。だが他にもあるはずだ。未知の計画が。送信を傍受し何時間も繰り返しお前に聞かせたが未だに洗脳の壁を崩すことができない。メイソン、最後の望みだ。頼む、もう一度だけ聞いてくれ。
Running out of time, Hudson pleads with Mason to listen to the number sequence one last time and focus on translating what they could mean. Mason finally breaks through and recalls what the number station is being transmitted for. It's a homing beacon leading to a shipping container back in Cuba. The very next day, Mason and Hudson lead a mission to intercept the Soviet commercial ship named Rusalka. They manage to take control of the ship and confirm that it is the source of the transmission, but not before Dragovich is able to begin the broadcast to the greater United States. Mason and Hudson plunge below the water to infiltrate Dragovich's underwater lair and allow for military support to destroy the Rusalka. In an intense final showdown, Mason is successful in carrying out Reznov's ultimate revenge. Mason and Hudson flee the collapsing base, swim to the surface, where they are greeted by Weaver, in one of the most absurd video game outro sequences I've ever seen. It's like the goddamn Super Bowl Sunday with the Blue Angels flying over what looks like every Navyman in all of Galveston, Texas. Turns out, the number station on Rusalka was not the only number station in existence. Before the credits roll, there is a sequence of pictures leaving it open to assume that Alex Mason carried out the original brainwashing programming and killed John F. Kennedy on November 22nd, 1963. and then the credits roll. It also turns out that there are no Japanese credits in this game at all, which was kind of the original point of doing all of this, so,
Oh shit, cutscene.
時間と世界は止まることはない。変化とは生命の法則である。そして過去や現在しか見つめていないものは確実に未来を見過ごすこととなる。確実に未来を見過ごすこととなる。ああ、なんだって？
カストロ師匠、ミサイル問題では両陣営が焦土と化すところでした。この度お招きしたのもお互い誠意を持って話し合うためです。
そこに落選した奴がいるぞ。いいのか？言ってるだろう。敵を許したまえ、ただ名前は覚えておけだ。さて皆さん、長い歴史の中で人々の自由の守護者となる栄誉に預かった世代は、
誰かが乱入しようとしてる。
嵐が来ているだけだ。座りたまえ。
ゾンビがペンタゴンの警備を突破しました。
ゾンビだと？このような時我々はあらゆる攻撃を阻止するため断固たる力を持つべきであり、持たねばならないのだ。諸君、攻撃準備を。ギバ革命！
大統領、最後にお言葉は？
そうだジャック、これから出撃する兵士を勇気づける言葉を聞かせてくれないか。
楽な人生を願い求めるな。強い人間になれるよう願うのだ。
Hey, so if you're hearing this, then you've made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. This video took way too long to make, for a multitude of reasons. I know it may not seem like it, but this was over the course of 6 whole months. And I don't really want to take that long again. But is one of my favorites. I think it's one of the better things I've made on this channel thus far. Maybe of any channel I've ever made. I definitely wanted to I wanted to acknowledge, thanks to, I don't know, I can't really acknowledge them in any formal or public way, but thanks to my friends, thanks to C and E for being in the little intro movie sketch that I filmed. Thanks to them for coming out and spending an evening with me, working on that and filming all of those segments. Thanks to Mako for doing the Japanese voiceover in the intro. I picked out some poems, sent them their way. They gave me some recordings, and that's what we got. You can definitely find their link in the description, along with if you wanted to check out any of the VRChat Worlds that I am using to produce this video, then those will also hopefully be linked in the bottom. Oh man, okay, I gotta wrap this up. This video took way too long, and it's holding up so many other things. But I think this video is going to be the I think it's going to be a turning point. I think this will be a chapter change in this channel, and the type of content I produce and how quickly I can make it. I think this is going to, moving forward, change a lot of what I do here. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on, and now that this is done, I can start to tell you about the other cool things I'm working on.
Like this.